What's up, Illinois DECA? I'd like to welcome you back to episode 2 of our brand new series, How-To-DECA, where over the course of the next few months, I'll be attempting to keep you guys up to date for all things DECA, while also ensuring that you are all prepared to take your competition to the next level. This episode, in honor of competition season starting in the next few weeks, we're going to run through some general tips and tricks to make sure that your role plays, clutch tests, and manual presentations will be a breeze. But before we start, if this is the first episode you've seen, feel free to check out our How-To-DECA video, our first How-To-DECA video, before watching this one, as it covers some relevant information for iConnect deadlines, as well as the upcoming round 2 of virtual business challenge competitions that will not be covered in this video. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we get into some advice and information regarding this year's ILDECA competition and beyond, I'd like to look back at what competition used to look like in a traditional DECA calendar year, so that those who have never competed in person can have a better idea of what DECA normally looks like. In the past, competition in person was divided into sectional, state, which is called CDC, and international ICDC in-person competitions. Sectionals, occurring in January of the new year, was divided into West Suburban, North Suburban, and South Suburban DECA competitions. And those who placed in the top 10 of their respective event were able to move on to ILCDC state competition. ILCDC was usually held in Rosemont, Illinois during March. And over the course of multiple days, participants would room with friends, take cluster exams, perform manual and role-play presentations, and additionally have plenty of free time to network and enjoy the thrilling atmosphere. Additionally, ILCDC would typically involve a state dinner and various forms of entertainment around the competition center for DECA members to enjoy. If members succeeded during mini awards and the grand award sessions or ceremonies in placing high enough to qualify, they would historically punch their own ticket to ICDC, which typically occurs in Orlando, Nashville, Atlanta, or Anaheim, with around 20,000 other DECA students from around the country and the world. At ICDC, which was supposed to occur in Anaheim this current year, participants get to experience an environment that they will truly never forget. This place is where life-changing memories are made. For me, attending ICDC in Orlando, Florida, my freshman year of high school, was the defining moment of my DECA career. And I wholeheartedly hope that it can still be this year and for years to come, irrespective of whether or not we are in person. Now that you are all a little more aware of how DECA usually works during competition season, the pandemic has meant that this year has been a little different. However, our amazing DECA Illinois state officers and staff have been working just as hard to make sure that your virtual ILCDC and ICDC experience will be those that we will never forget. To elaborate, as you all know, this year we will be engaging in virtual ILCDC and ICDC conferences. The former will be occurring from the end of January to the beginning of March, and you can contact your advisor for more information about that, including all aspects mentioned above, like role plays, manuals, cluster exams, mini awards, and grand award sessions, and even entertainment opportunities, but with restrictions in place to simulate the completion of sectionals. By this, I mean that we're only allowing one competitor per event per chapter. ICDC, on the other hand, will be happening virtually later in the spring. Although all the details of role play presentations, online cluster exams, and other forms of competition are not yet clear and are subject to change, what we know is that these competition components will be heavily rooted in recordings and uploading, and will feature security measures to prevent dishonesty during testing and presentation. Specifically, competition will take place in individual, secure, third-party browsers and utilize uploading and recording capabilities with exaggerated time restrictions, such as 30-minute role-play observation periods, etc., to ensure competition can still occur securely and smoothly. However, no matter how competition turns out this year, it's up to all of us to make the best out of it and keep our love for DECA alive. And so everything can return to something a little more normal. The good news is, no matter our format of competition this year, preparation tips and tricks are always the same. And I have a few from experience that I can help you to take your events to the next level this upcoming season. All right, to begin with some tips and tricks for competition in general, all I can say is that it's essential to start preparing as soon as possible. With more time to prepare, learn, and reinforce the performance indicators and other key concepts and rules, you will tend to remember with increased complexity and perform more naturally, precisely, and swiftly when asked to during actual time-sensitive competition. I know that one of my biggest regrets of my first season of competition is that I did not prepare soon enough, and because of it, I was not able to progress as far as I could have if I had taken more time to fully understand my event and its corresponding materials. Additionally, using partners and peers is an essential and valuable resource for all aspects of competition, as practicing alone can never quite prepare you for the full stresses of presenting or testing in front of your peers during competition. In a virtual setting, this can be easily done through the use of Zoom and Google Drive services. So the pandemic shouldn't limit any of your abilities to take full advantage of your DECA chapter peers. Also, I bid you all to ensure that you understand each of your events completely and with complexity. By this, I mean that before competition, it is extremely valuable that each competitor uses their resources to the full extent possible. Contact your advisors or officers or search the internet for practice tests and role plays. Visit www.deca.org/high school programs and their competitive events, and read through your performance indicators, sample events or presentations, and general event guidelines. Or ask older DECA members for recommendations of valuable resources. Make sure that you are prepared for competition. For more specifically, role plays, a great tip I have for every competitor is to be creative and unique. Because we only have a limited time to impress our judges, we see lots of competitors in the same event each day. It is essential to be the presentation that they remember. By this, I mean that my favorite way to do so is to extensively use visuals, graphs, charts, business cards, or other ways to summarize information quickly and efficiently, like the flowcharts. At the same time, being cordial and confident, maintaining professionalism, and hitting all of the performance indicators verbally, even if you don't know what they mean, can give you extra points to both stand out and succeed in terms of the rubric. Finally, make sure to take quick but meaningful notes during your presentation time that could help you stay on track during presentations. Whether you create a SWOT or pestle analysis, list all your performance indicators in order, or simply write bullet points for what you do or are going to say. Do so in a manner that encourages presentation without looking down to read. With all this in mind, you will undoubtedly find greater success in your role plays this season. In terms of manual presentations, tips and tricks are largely the same. Once again, I ask all participants to be virtually and visually creative. Nothing ruins a good manual presentation more than a boring extended document with only words and no color or graphics to supplement them. Likewise, a judge will see tens of these types of presentations during competition. And if yours is the one with color, graphs, charts, and supplemental imagery that can have meaningful value, you will undoubtedly find greater success. Additionally, pacing and confidence is key. Don't feel the need to rush yourself, for it's much more valuable to clearly communicate your ideas than to finish way ahead of time. If your judges can understand your objectives and main arguments more clearly, they are much more likely to remember your presentation. And the same can be said for role play presentations as well. Finally, in terms of tips and tricks for cluster exams, I cannot stress enough the value of taking as many practice exams as possible. These exams will highlight your areas of knowledge that you are struggling in, and in doing so, fill gaps of information that you may have in your respective events. For example, while flying to Orlando, Florida in 2019, I did as many practice tests as I could, even on the flight there. Additionally, Quizlets are essential towards success, as they can use past DECA members' knowledge and experience to quickly and efficiently help you understand your particular performance indicators. Just search them up on the internet and bookmark what you find useful. Practicing these sets constantly so that you will be thanking yourself during your cluster exam. Moreover, the amazing part of Quizlet is that it also benefits you in other parts of competition, such as your role plays and manual presentations. Thus, with these techniques and your time commitment, I am sure you can find great success during your competition season, despite restrictions that this virtual environment has created for the time being. Thank you for making it all the way through the video. And if you liked what you listened to, please feel free to share this video and my channel to others, while also liking and subscribing when possible. Check out the description for some useful links and emails for the ILDECA state officers this year and myself. And I hope you all find success during this year's competition season. Until next time.